Hey everyone, welcome back to Road Atlanta for Race 2. So in Race 1 we worked our way up through the field after a really bad start. I managed to put in what I thought was a really solid performance in fairly tricky conditions. So heading into this race, the skies have been clear all day, and while the radar showed some rain cloud movement in the area, the weather reports for our specific location indicated no rain. Everyone is starting on slick tires, and I was pretty confident that the track was going to stay dry for the entire race. So looking at the starting order, as usual, our best time from the previous race is going to be used to determine our starting position. Misha Goikberg is going to takes pole position ahead of Josh Green, Zachary Vanier, and Jonathan Kotick. And right behind them is us in my career best qualifying position of 5th. So we're the highest starting non-Mygale chassis. And it feels a little bit weird to have so few cars in front of us. We'll be on the third row, with 4 cars in front of us, 1 to our left. Let's take a quick look at the track again. It's going to be much different than in the dry, but as you can see, I'm struggling to rub off the sticker on that right front tire. So even though the track is dry for now, this indicates that it's still going to be very slick. It's going to be very low grip. So they gave us an extra pace lap to familiarize ourselves with the conditions. So let's go skip ahead and take the green flag. So here we are rolling into 10A and B, taking formation to get the start, and you can see the water spots on the camera. It started to rain as we were coming down the back straightaway on the second pace lap. It's a very, very light drizzle, but it's still going to be enough to make things very slippery. Trying to keep one eye on the cars in front and one eye over to the right to get the start and watch the flag drop. And there we get the green flag. Whoa, what a slide. I get a wheel up onto that paint. You can see just how slippery it is. It's really slippery on the track, but when you get on that paint, it's just instant death. I'm trying to stay off the paint again there. There's Scott Rubenzer in his Spectrum. Just gets ahead of me a little bit. You can see cars slipping and sliding everywhere. We're all still just trying to feel out the track again, like the day before. I think it's even trickier in this setup because we're on slick tires. Everyone was expecting a dry race, and just at the last second it started throwing some moisture on the track. Trying to figure out a way to get past Scott in front of me. There's Ryan Bjork on the inside. I decide to follow him to the inside to get around Rubenzer. He's very conservative on the brakes. I'm trying to get a good exit out of 7. Maybe I can line up Ryan. Now coming into 10A, we're still trying to feel out the track, so we're going to have to brake way earlier than I think we will. And just take it nice and easy. Everyone's trying to feel things out. I can see that lead pack already starting to pull away. We're going to take a nice early braking point into 10A. I get on the brakes. Oh, rear end locks up. You can see the flash from the wheel hitting the concrete. And Scott Rubenzer there spins in sympathy. Somehow managed to avoid whacking someone as we skid through 10A and B, but that's the end of the race for us on the first lap. As I said yesterday, that we've been running too much rear brake bias for the entire season last year, and yesterday it helped us a little bit because of the full wet conditions. But now that we're on a damp track with slick tires, it just caught me out. As soon as I hit the brakes, the rear's locked and the car spun around. There wasn't really much I could do. So looking back, it's sort of a failure of preparation. We had this problem all last year. We tried once to fix it. We made it a little bit better, but obviously, as you can see from this result, not enough. If we had the proper brake balance, as soon as I hit the brakes, the fronts would have locked. I would have lost steering momentarily, and I would have lost some of my stopping power. But as soon as you see the fronts lock, then you release a little bit of brake pressure, and you sort of try to find that threshold of just about to lock up. So the car would have continued on in a straight line. It might have gotten hairy with Ryan Bjork in front of us, but the likelihood of causing an incident would have gone way down. The way it is, as you saw, as soon as I hit the brakes, the car spun around. and that's a symptom of too much rear brake bias. So I'll throw up a picture of the car after it came off the wrecker. It looks like all the damage is isolated to that right side that hit the concrete wall. The right rear corner is completely gone. There's some holes in the gearbox casing. The right side pod will have to be replaced. It doesn't look like there's any damage to the right front, which is pretty lucky. Yeah, I think the left side of the car is pretty much completely fine. There's a few things in the center. I also like the cross member that the rear suspension bolts to on top of the gearbox. That's going to need to be replaced. The internals of the gearbox were fine, which is great. We're recording this a week after the accident. It looks like we are on track to get everything repaired and be at Watkins Glen for round 2. So that's great. But we didn't have enough spares to put the car back together, and we wouldn't have had enough time, just me and my dad fixing the car to get ready for race 3. So that's the end of our weekend. Shooting forward ahead to the results, Jonathan Kotick took the win ahead of Josh Green, Misha Goikberg, and Bryce Aaron. I was watching the race sort of in between getting our car back from the wrecker, and none of these guys stopped for tires. It started raining fairly heavily a little later on in the race. And a few people in the back stopped for tires, so not nobody, but all of the, maybe the top 11 or top 12 stayed out on slicks for the entire race, which is pretty remarkable, because even that first lap was really hairy, and it just got worse from there. So props to them for finishing the race in these conditions. Looking at the championship standings after race 2, Jonathan Kotick and Josh Green are tied for second, or tied for first. Misha Goikberg is in third, but I don't think he's doing the whole season, so he's probably going to fall down the order. We've tumbled down to 14th behind Matt Gidman, ahead of Mike Scanlon, who had the accident in the race before. And so we're going to have to work our way back up. Of course, we're going to be doing even worse after race 3 that we're not going to be able to take part in. And let's take a look at the championship standings at the end of the entire weekend. So Jonathan Kotick leads the championship into round 2 at Watkins Glen, followed by Josh Green, Misha Goikberg, Bryce Aaron, and Christian Laldas round out the top 5. We have tumbled all the way down to 18th place, last place. I guess that's what happens when you crash out of one race and you fail to start another. But we only have up to go from here. So hopefully Watkins Glen is a better weekend for us. There are some positives to take out of this weekend. I think if you look at the timesheets from practice, we've closed the gap from last year. Last year the Cahill cars were pretty consistently 2 to 2.5 seconds faster than us per lap. And this weekend, at least for the one practice session that we were in, we had closed that gap by a second. So that looks very positive. I think I did have a very good race in race 1. So there's plenty of positives we can take. The negatives were not entirely out of our control because the brake bias problem was something entirely preventable, but it's something we can learn from and move forward. And there's definitely plenty of positives to take out and carry with us to Watkins Glen. So thanks everyone for watching. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get into race 3, so we've only got 2 videos from this weekend, and one of them was rather short, I guess. But hopefully we'll have all 3 races from Watkins Glen. I think I am going to continue the trend that I've started now of uploading practice and qualifying. I'm not sure if I'm going to post the results for qualifying because I don't want to spoil the races too much. If you guys let me know what you think, if you've made it this far in the video. Anyways, so that's what we're going to look at going forward. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in Watkins Glen.